All right. Now you can really hear me, right? All right, everybody in the field house, welcome today. If everybody can make their way over to the cooking studio, it's the giant mirror, and come over here, we're going to get our cooking demonstration started. So head on over. All right, come on over to the cooking studio. We're going to have some free samples over here. You know how to bring people, right? Give them free food. All right, we're so excited to welcome you today. After much adversity that we have overcome as a group, to the HarborPark Jazz Rhythm and Blues Festival's cooking studio. So this beautiful set we have here is actually courtesy of their homes. They built this set for us, and they've actually made it sustainable. So believe it or not, this comes into parts that we can pack away and put away until next year. So isn't that amazing? Yeah. It's good. And we're also so excited this year to have the continuing support of the Wisconsin Professional Firefighters Charitable Fund. They have been so kind to work with us the last several years. They donate, they've had a check, and they've loaned us a few of their members over here. So let's welcome the firefighters. And this year we have a few new sponsors. Some of you who frequent the Milwaukee area may have heard of the Bartolota Restaurant Group. They have a wide variety of restaurants in Milwaukee, and they are sponsoring us. They've actually rented some specialized cooking equipment for the guys, and they've donated some food products, so we can give you all a free sample today. So go Bartolotas! And then many from the Kenosha community may know Dr. Kevin Fullen. He's been a longtime supporter of the Mahone Fund, and he has a group that's called Kenosha Heart. And he is sponsoring our cooking studio as well. And so we just wanted to give a thanks to him. He does such great work in our community. So thank you, Dr. Kevin Fullen and Kenosha Heart. Yay! They're very excited that we have working with us a nutritionist this year to tell us how to take all these wonderful dishes and make them a little healthier. We'll get to Andre in a second here. And next we have a Milwaukee business called Mueller Communications, who is here. One of their mission statements is to do right by their clients and the community. So we're proud that they see supporting the Mahone Fund as doing right by the community. So thank you to them as well. And then last, but certainly not least, is we have Gateway Technical College. Those of you from the area have probably heard of it. We've got students that are Mahone scholars that go to Gateway and have graduated from there. And they've been such a big part of our cooking studio for years. And today we're lucky enough to have Terry Simmons, who's the Dean of the School of Protective and Human Services and Academic Administrator. Did I get that right? Welcome, Terry. He's going to be our MC today, so I'm going to hand it off to him.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to mic change here. Okay. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Terry Simmons, and I am the Dean of the School of Protective and Human Services for Gateway Technical College. And that program has over 15, 16 academic programs throughout the three campuses of Kenosha, Racine, and Walworth County. And we're happy to be here today. I'm here also with two of our employees, Victoria Weber and Melissa Weber, both with us, helping out our firefighters in the back with our program. Let me give you some information about what we have going on today.
Jax, Terry.
All right. Okay. All right. So, as you know, this is a a cook-off. This is no ordinary cook-off. This is called the Summer Slider Showdown. So we have a competition between two of our fire departments. One is the Kenosha Firefighters Local 414 and Greenfield Firefighters Local 1963. To see who has the right to call themselves the best firehouse chef in the area. Heading up our orange team for Kenosha Firefighters Local 414 is Austin Maxedon. Austin is a firefighter paramedic with the Kenosha Fire Department and is assigned to Med 1. Austin has some big shoes to fill as he is taking over for the orange team from their two-time winning team leader, Jeff White. Big shoes.
Big shoes.
Big shoes. Representing our green team from Greenfield Firefighters Local 1963 is Ryan Wellahan. Ryan has been with the Greenfield Fire Department for 12 years and is currently a driver for Truck 92 Greenfield. So the parameters for our competition today. The chefs were given, the parameters that were given to the chefs were that they had to make a slider with 2 side dishes for this competition. They will show you how they prepared their dish and maybe give you some insight on what it's like cooking for a firehouse or busy firefighters. You will then get to sample the dishes and vote for your favorite dish. You will be the judges. Yeah, they look good. Again, as mentioned earlier, this year we're excited to welcome one of our former Mahone scholars to the cooking studio. Andre Adams was a class of 2003 Mahone Scholarship winner and is a Gateway alumni of class of 2007. Andre is also an International Federation of Bodybuilding pro athlete and National Academy of Sports Medicine master trainer. Additionally, lots of accolades. He's the owner of Engineer 360 LLC, a consulting firm, and Snap Fitness Kenosha, along with his wife Rebecca Adams, and will be helping us throughout the demo to answer questions and offering insights from a nutritional perspective.
Thank you, Terry.
All right, let's get started. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, Austin, what are you preparing for us today?
So today we have a macaroni and cheese with a bechamel sauce. Bechamel sauce is just a fancy term for a roux. We have a side of coleslaw as well with a slider consisting of ground beef, bacon, and pulled pork on top with pickled onions. All right, well,
let's
not jump the gun.
Yeah, that's a little early. Okay. Brian, tell us about your dishes.
Yes, so don't get too excited about that one over there. Just wait to hear this. All right, so we have our slider. It's going to be kind of like a torta, which is a Mexican dish. So the slider is with ground beef, half and half chorizo. So it's going to have a little bit of a spice to it. On top of that, we're also going to have some avocado, some refried beans, some smoked cheese on there, flavor everywhere, okay? And then we have cowboy caviar, and we have Mexican corn as well.
Ryan, you talk about chorizo. What is chorizo, and what made you decide to use that?
So chorizo is kind of like a spicy Mexican pork sausage. So by itself, it's got a lot of flavor. Like we said, we went 50-50 with the ground beef. So you'll have some of that spice there, but it shouldn't be too overwhelming. It seems like at the very end of the slider itself, it kind of heats up on you a little bit. So if you don't like spice, it's okay. You'll still enjoy this meal quite a bit.
Andre, I heard about our sliders here, right?
Overpowering.
It's all that bodybuilding, I tell you.
How's this? Can you guys still hear me? All right. Sound good, look good.
So Andre, tell it, suggestions on making these sliders any healthier than they probably are.
So a couple of things, every now and then we have to splurge a little bit, right? We want to have a little bit of fun. So we'll talk a little bit about ideal timing for having a fun cheat meal like this. Obviously, you want to do this before you have a workout or have some kind of activity, or you get up here and dance, right, tonight. So you got to refuel for that. And then my wife actually put together an awesome ingredient list with some healthier alternatives or substitutes. Definitely stop by and pick our brain. You know, if there's things, if you're diabetic, for instance, and you can't have brown sugar, right? There's things like stevia or other natural sweeteners that you might be able to use to avoid spiking things like blood sugar and glucose. So definitely, as we walk through it, I think we'll open the floor up for specific questions, and we can give you guys some healthy substitutes.
All right, great. So Austin, let's start with you. Where do you begin making your meal for us?
So we're going to start with the bechamel sauce, which is just butter, and we also have a chicken bouillon. So we're going to start with that.
And this is going to go into your
The bechamel sauce for the mac and cheese.
for the mac and cheese. Bechamel sauce. Andre, what do you do with bechamel sauce? How do you substitute that out with that? That's what do you say? Butter and honey and.
Just butter and chicken bouillon.
Oh, okay. Can we make that any healthier?
So for the butter, there's a couple different things. Since this recipe, you don't want to mess up the taste. You don't want to use like an applesauce substitute, but you can use a high omega-3 substitute for butter. That's one that my wife and I would commonly use. And what was the other ingredient?
Chicken bouillon.
I'm not sure what to do with that one. I think you just enjoy that one as it is.
Is there a low sodium? Is there sodium?
There's definitely low sodium options, right? If it's sodium specifically, obviously there's salt alternatives, but there's other brands that we would use, like a G. Hughes sugar-free or low sodium type of condiments or toppings. Those are really great choices. But definitely, let's see how this thing shakes out. I'm excited.
And with this recipe, there's nothing in the book that says you have to use the chicken bouillon. It's just strictly for flavor, so you can ditch that altogether.
I vote for extra chicken.
I agree.
All right.
So you just want to melt your butter. Once your butter gets melted, you don't want to burn the butter. That's the key. Then you're going to add flour. And all you want to do with that flour and butter is just get it to melt together and have it be a nice golden color. So I don't know if you guys can see that out in the audience.
Can you see it?
But you can see it thickening up just like that. You just want it to be a nice golden color and don't burn it. Once that's set like that, then you take your milk. You can use 2%, you can use, I would stay away from vitamin D like whole milk. You can use half and half, and all you want to do with that is just mix it together nice and bring it to a nice simmer. You don't want to overcook it, you don't want to overboil it, just nice and easy, just like that. Obviously I can't tip the pan this time.
Make it good for you.
Alright, that's what I like. And the key to it, and I say the key to cooking anything, is to make sure you keep it moving. Don't let it burn. So for time's sake, once you bring that to a slow boil or a simmer, then you're just going to add your cheese. Slowly stir in your cheese. You don't want to use too much. So today we have a beer cheese. We have a 50-50 mix of Gouda and Parm.
What is Gouda?
It's a type of cheese. We have a sharp cheddar.
Was it 4 cheeses so far?
Yep, 4 cheeses. So 4 cheese mac and cheese. Now you just want to stir that in until it melts the cheese.
Does this taste better than like Kraft macaroni?
Oh, way better. Way better. Way better.
It looks good.
As we're mixing that up too, keep in mind if you're sensitive to any of those ingredients, you can always scale back the amount of each ingredient as well, right? So it's things like cheese, you can use vegan cheese alternative. There are, yes.
So then, once you get your cheeses all melted together, then you're going to take your noodles, pre-cook them to the box instructions, and just add it in.
Those don't look like the normal kind of little Well,
So they're orachete, which at the end of the day is just a special type of shell noodle.
Do you know what orecchiette means in Italian?
I do not.
Orecchiette means little ears. So that's why they're shaped like little tiny, like the inside of your ear. That's what orecchiette means, little ear.
all together now we're going to say, oh, okay. Very good.
I'll say it.
Well, you are with Gateway, so you're going to learn something. Yeah, so.
And then once you have all that mixed together, you can choose to serve it as is, or you can put it in a pan, put breadcrumbs on it, and throw it in the oven.
Wonderful. Very good. Thank you. Where do you start with you? Where do we begin?
So, because they begin with their side, we'll do the same thing for our side as well. So we'll talk about making our Mexican street corn. So what we did with the corn is we roasted it on the grill ahead of time to make sure we could get as much flavor as possible, shoved it up. And then we're just going to add a couple other things to it. Our mixture that we have is mayo and sour cream mixture. Sorry. But so we're going to mix those two together, mayo, sour cream, along with the corn. We also have some of the seasonings that we have in there now ahead of time, as well as some cheese, and we'll put some cilantro on top. This side that we're doing today is going to be served warm. The cool thing with this is that you can have it warm or cold, either or. So if you see a taco truck on the corner, they're more than likely going to have some Mexican street corn in it as well. So definitely try it out. So we'll just add that all together.
We have a quick add or two if you don't like the mayo or you need a healthy alternative.
You can do some plain Greek yogurt. It has the same texture, consistency, and it's higher in protein. Or you could do like a half and half split.
We have a ton of corn at the firehouse, at my house. I'll make corn on the grill. I'll just quick take it off the cob, throw some mayo, some sour cream. It can be done just lickety split. So if you're just sick of just having regular corn, want to have something a little bit different, this is your jam. So a little bit of cilantro on top as well. It's going to add a little bit of freshness to it.
That's fresh cilantro, right?
Oh, yeah. Be careful when you go to the store. Parsley and cilantro look very similar. So when you're going to grab it, look at the tag on there. Make sure you got the right one, because we've made the mistake at the firehouse from time to time.
Usually there's three things next to each other. The curly parsley, the straight parsley, and then the cilantro.
You got it. All right. So we'll just take some of that, and then we'll go to plate it for you guys. And that's going to be one of our sides there.
And your second side, what do you have for your second side?
Second side is going to be cowboy caviar. This is a great one. We make this at the firehouse all the time as well, because it's got a lot of different things in there: corn, beans, tomatoes, and it will kind of fill you up quick. Nice to throw on the corn out on the counter just to kind of go by and kind of graze on with some chips during the day. So we have everything mixed together, as you can see there. Our corn, tomatoes, etc. Once again, we're going to use some cilantro, a little bit of cilantro. And then we have some red wine vinegar that we're going to put over the top, with a little teaspoon of sugar that goes with that as well to sweeten it up a little bit. When I'm at home, sometimes making this quick, I'll just use like an Italian dressing over the top or something like that. Usually sometimes combine Italian dressing and a creamy French base as well. So we'll mix that in. This is one of those things kind of like chili where the next day it's even better. It's really good. All those flavors start to blend together for you. So leave it in the fridge. If you didn't eat it all in one day, you can kind of put a counter on the bottom and kind of strain out some of that extra liquid, so the next day it's just not sitting in a whole soup basically. So mix that together. When you guys get your plate, we'll just throw a couple of chips with that. And then throw a little bit of the cowboy caviar on top. And you can enjoy it with some chips.
That looks great. Like my culinary arts instructors always say, it's all about the presentation. Very good. Awesome. What's next on your list?
So we have a coleslaw, and with our coleslaw, it's just a basic cabbage and carrot mix, and our sauce is a mayo based with vinegar, sugar, black pepper, salt, and some fresh parsley inside. And feel free with the fresh parsley, you can switch it out for cilantro if you want to use it on fish tacos. They're interchangeable, so do what you will with it.
So if you buy the wrong item, cilantro or the parsley, it can go either way.
Just going to add a different flavor.
All right, be honest. How many people here have bought the wrong thing at the grocery store? I know. We've all done it.
Yeah.
And then for our slider,
All right, now we're getting to the meat part here.
so for our slider we have a beef patty with bacon, so you're just going to want to get that in your pan, get it sizzling, give it a good press, cook about a minute or two each side, give it a good flip, same thing, just keep it pressed, you don't want it to blow up like a meatball.
Is that now just lean beef, 85, 93%?
You-
Buffalo meat? What is it?
Just lean ground beef. You can use whatever you want. If you like sirloin, you can use sirloin. You can use venison, bison, you name it. You can do it, whatever you want with it. So for our slider, we're going to go ahead and put a little slice of pickled onions on that, and then we're going to go ahead and put our slider on. So you want to put the onion on the bottom because that's going to wake up your palate. It's going to hit your tongue first, and it's going to wake up your mouth and say, okay, we got some food here. Yep, and then on top of that, we got pulled pork, which is smoked with fireboat sauce, and that is it for the slider.
What is it served on there? It looks like a
So that is a pretzel bun.
pretzel bun.
Pretzel bun.
So again, tell me the components of each slider.
So the components of the slider are the pickled onions, which is just pickled in a sugar and vinegar based sauce, and then you have your meat, which is whatever kind of ground beef you want to use, ground beef, ground sirloin, ground venison, bacon, and pulled pork with fireboat sauce.
Tell us about the firehouse sauce you call it?
So fireboat sauce,
Fireboat.
so it comes from a captain in California from San Francisco, and he actually worked on the Golden Gate Bridge fireboat. So it's kind of a traditional sauce that we use a lot. You can use it on chicken, pork, anything. It's homemade, so the recipe is in the booklet. Yep.
Okay. All right.
The recipe's in the program, guys, so don't lose the program. The recipes are in it.
All right, Brian, what about your main course? What do you got here?
Yes, so like we said before, we made a torta. So torta is kind of like a hamburger. It's kind of like a Mexican hamburger, basically. So we're going to start out with the bottom bun there, and then we're going to go and we're going to put some refried beans on there, just a little bit. Just on the bottom there for a little bit of that flavor. We're going to go to the burger itself. And as you said before, this is half chorizo, half ground beef. Now when you bite into that burger, you're going to look on the inside and be like, ooh, they didn't cook it. Nope, that's that chorizo. So that chorizo's got that red flavor, okay, that red tinge into it. There's a lot of paprika that's put into that ahead of time. And that's where some of that spice comes from. But it does look, when you kind of bite into it, it can look like it's still red. It's cooked all the way through. That's just kind of how it looks. So.
Is it a beef chorizo or a pork chorizo?
It's a pork chorizo. Yep. So we did half pork chorizo and then half with the ground beef as well. So that's a 50-50 blend. Next up, we'll put our slice of smoked hickory cheese, cheddar cheese on there. So that's going to bring even more of that smoky flavor to the dish. Some lettuce, slice of tomato.
Not mustard? Oh, I'm sorry.
Should have brought sunglasses. Well, I know, but if we brought sunglasses, we would have needed a rain poncho.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
They have to do, some will work out at like 3, 4 p.m. And then dinner is usually something lighter. A lot of times we'll serve the same meal for lunch and dinner. It's like your traditional, so we do it on Wednesdays, is Italian day. So whether it's a lasagna or a spaghetti or whatever other kind of Italian dish you can think of, we usually serve the biggest one for lunch, and then everybody just kind of grazes for dinner. So really we don't really do a big dinner. It's usually a big lunch.
We actually do the complete opposite. we usually make something smaller for lunch, and then so a lot of times too is we'll maybe even look in the fridge, see if we have something left over from the day before that we can incorporate into the next dish. Because we're on a budget. Each day each person puts in about $10. So usually we're in between about $50 to $60, maybe $70 at the most to be able to do 2 meals. So you have to be pretty good on budgeting. We always say that one of your main dishes needs to be on sale. It's got to be one of the meats that's on sale for the week. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. So we'll usually do something lighter for lunch, and then if we can do something lighter, then maybe we can do something like jambalaya for dinner. Maybe we can do smoked pork. Maybe we can do lobster mac. You know, we've done it all. We've literally made sushi. We've done everything. The guys in the past that came before us, they must be rolling in graves because they're like, here's your 2 slices of ham on your ham sandwich. Go eat it. And we're like, we're making jambalaya. So it's come a long way.
So how
Every day
does
is
that,
Taco Tuesday.
so how does that menu planning, shopping, how does that all happen at the firehouse?
So it's always up to just the person that cooks. So it's funny because there's a lot of times where somebody will take the money and they'll be ready to go to the store, and then somebody will say, hey, homemade pizza sounds great tonight, and then we usually take the money and slide it straight across to them. All right, you can go make that. But no, you just kind of wing it. There's certain people that don't cook a lot, and when they don't cook a lot, we say, stick to your 4 to 5 meals that you're good at. Just stay there. Just stay right there. And other people, like myself, I literally almost cook every day that I go to work. So you name it, I've made it. Chinese, Mexican, Greek, everything. We just all across the board. And like I said, you're really kind of tied to whatever's on sale for the week, you know, wherever we're going shopping.
Within the Kenosha Fire Department, usually it's the engine company people. So we rotate between an engine and a med unit. And at Station 1, so the new old station on 22nd and 52nd, we have a truck company there. So usually the truck company will go shopping. So it rotates every day between who cooks. We all try to cook, and like Brian said, we have our strong cooks, and they'll always be in the kitchen throwing something together. And then you have people who will just go off and hide because they don't want to be embarrassed. Yeah, ours is $10. It's the same. So 10, and sometimes we do like 15 or 20 for like a Saturday when we do steaks. So.
That's always a misconception too. I think you said like city money, so everything is always just from us.
Yep.
So the port, so the money that's given in daily, that's from each firefighter. So because there's sometimes where we will budget really well, and we're going through the butcher line and we got steaks, and somebody's like, oh, must be nice that the city's paying for steaks for you guys, and we're like, a little education, like nope. Yep. We actually had, egg salad sandwiches yesterday, and we budgeted really well. So we have this extra money today that we left in our kitty, it's called, so our extra money that we can put towards steaks today.
Have any questions from the audience? Yes, sir.
what do you do when your basket is full at Pick and Save and you get a call?
A lot of times, the people at the counter are really good. They'll either shove it behind the butcher counter or they'll shove it behind the front customer service desk for us. And when we come back, we'll just pay for it and pick it back up then. Usually they're pretty good at going through it and putting that stuff in the cold section.
I've seen you guys there, that's why.
Yeah.
Any other questions from our audience? Well, gentlemen, thank you both very much. These look absolutely delicious. I'm sure you're going to give our audience an opportunity to see who's going to be able to call themselves the best, all right, and take that trophy home. All right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Good job.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
No, thank everybody for this event. You guys setting this up, and especially for last minute, the change in venue, everything like that. Like, these people are working their butts off, so give them a hand.
Thank you, Brian. Awesome. Thanks. All right, they're going to bring out the last few samples for all of you. I want to thank the teams. They have been amazing to work with. They have really done so much to help out. Bartolota's donated the beef, but guess what? These firefighters donated everything else you're sampling today. So not only did they make it for you, but they donated that food product so we could have more money going towards scholarships for the kids. So that's what we like about our firefighters. They're here for our community, right? So just to remind y'all, this is a contest, all right? So that means, woo! So we're going to be voting. And what that means is right over there where you see those fire boots, those are our ballot boxes. And I got some ballots, and you're gonna circle which one you like best. So whether or not you like Greenfield or green teams, chorizo sliders with the Mexican street corn and the cowboy caviar best, yeah, or orange team over there and their slider with their fireboat sauce, mac and cheese, and coleslaw, all right? So you're going to be checking that out. And I really want to thank the volunteers who have stuck with us. As y'all know, our kids opened a smidge late today due to not only moving places, but then some generator issues. So I can't thank all of you and the volunteers enough for sticking with us and hanging in there. I also want to thank Terry Simmons from Gateway. They've been a long-term partner with us and they help us so much. And Andre and his lovely wife, Rebecca. It is so nice to have one of our former scholarship winners back here, helping our community, and now he's a small business owner at Snap Fitness. So I know we're all inspired to go work out now that he's given us all these great tips. So thank you so much. They do have a booth in the back if you want to hit it up for some information there. And then again, their homes for our set and Bartolota's for providing the food product and the griddles. And finally, I really just want to thank all of you for coming out here today amongst all of our crazy and our changing venues and delayed open start and supporting this great cause. I tell you every year at the Reaching for the Rainbows when we give out these scholarships and these kids get up and talk about how much this scholarship means in their life, whether they're going to an Ivy League college or they're going to get a pilot's license or join our protective services. The money that the Mahone Fund gives them is often the difference between making it work or not. These kids are mentored all the way starting in elementary and junior high school, all the way through high school and into college and through college by the folks of the Mahone Fund. So they become part of the Mahone family, and it's really important that we support kids so they can get this start. So thank you all. Enjoy these samples. Let the ladies know if you were missing any. We got garbage can up here, and then over there we got the large bins, if you'd like to do that. And come over here and vote for your favorite one. Have a nice day and enjoy the music. Green plates, green field.
All right. We got hand sanitizer. We got the on to have this.
I didn't do it. You stayed right here, and I I know I'm not singing, so we're going to take a brief announcement to introduce a special cooking studio presentation with student captains Terry Jacobson and artist Mosley to the stage.
All right. Well, artist might be doing 8 other things right now. We'll see if she does join us. But we have this delightful representative, one of our former Mahone, or current, I should say, Mahone scholars, Marissa, is going to help us with the presentation of the trophy. For those of you who were here earlier, we do a cooking studio to kick this off. It's part of the Mahone mission to have healthy families and healthy communities. And so we are trying to encompass food into that. Plus, the Mahones, much like my family, believe you show people you love them by cooking for them. And so we always start off each show with a cooking studio, and this has been our trophy the last 3 years as we've been doing firefighter team kickoff. We have this year Kenosha, who is our orange team and reigning champion, local 414, and it's led, boys, come in front of the stage. And it's led this year by a new team lead. We have Alex Maxidon, and then our former 2-time champ, Jeff Widener's on the team. So they're there. And then this year, coming all the way down from Greenfield, is local 1963 out of Greenfield, right over there, led by Brian and their crew. And they made some amazing food for us. The Kenosha team did a slider with a special fireboat sauce that has a great history, and they paired that with some mac and cheese and some coleslaw. And then the Greenfield team, right over there, did a chorizo slider with a Mexican street corn and a cowboy caviar. So we had some amazing food this year. And these guys are so amazing to work with. Besides doing all the cooking and slapping out all this stuff, their union supplied the food that was not donated by Bartolotas, who donated the griddles and ground beef. They donated everything else, and their Wisconsin Professional Firefighters Union has supported us for the last several years at the Mahone Fund, and it is so great to have these everyday heroes help out our community in this new and exciting way. So let's hear it for both teams right now. Woo-hoo! Awesome. And this year the vote was very close. However, I will say that the home team did prevail again, so orange team. I will say though that Greenfield, we had a lot of ballots with good job and sticky finger sauce on it as well. So good job everyone, and let's get a picture of our team captain with the trophy. There we go, look at that. All right, now I know you don't want to hear me talk anymore. We're going to get back to the amazing music of Lady A, and I'm going to turn it back over because I was jamming and I was waiting for my job to get done so I can dance with you.